So, due to being sick with COVID, this review is admittedly a little late. Inglorious Basterds, a 2009 revisionist war film written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. It stars Brad Pitt, Eli Roth, B.J. Novick, Melanie Laurent, Christoph Waltz, among others. Michael Myers even makes an appearance. I'm surprised they let him keep acting after he literally killed his babysitter. Anyway, this movie received overwhelmingly good praise upon its release and still continues to this day. Also, fun fact, Adam Sandler was supposed to get Roth's role, but he was busy with something else at the time. Anyway, let's stop wasting time and discuss. The premise of this film revolves around the Nazi Party. Not very appealing? Okay. Well, it also centers around a group of Jewish American soldiers dubbed the Bastards, who fly into their territory and kick some Nazi ass. They have gotten more than tired of these piece-of-shit Nazi scum thinking they can do whatever they want and just keep killing their people. Well, not anymore, because the Bastards are coming in hard. Now, the leader of all of this is a man named Lieutenant Aldo Rain. He also calls himself Aldo the Apache due to his indigenous background, which is also why he demands everyone to scalp as many German officers as they can. And a man named Sergeant Donny Donowitz, aka the Bear Jew. Note, it is not an actual bear. Oh, and he's played by Thanksgiving Cabin Fever director Eli Roth. Now, while this is going on, Adolf, played by Martin Wuttke, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, learns of the existence of the Bastards and demands to know who they are after one of his guys is attacked. Eventually, this all segues into a theater owned by Shoshana, played by Melanie Laurent, a young Jewish girl whose parents were killed at the beginning of the movie. She's working under a different name now, and the Germans, unaware Shoshana is Jewish, plan to have a propaganda film premiere at her theater, but Shoshana has a few tricks of her own, and she and her projectionist Marcel, played by Jackie Ido, are going to give them a premiere that the Nazis won't soon forget. It won't be an easy plan to execute, however, because amongst the Nazi soldiers is a conniving man named Hans Landa, played by Christoph Waltz, who always seems to be one step ahead of them, but the Bastards are determined and will not go down without a fight. A blood-soaked, bone-breaking, skin-tearing, skull-bashing fight. For a 2.5-hour movie, this went by pretty fast. I mean, the pacing for this movie was just so good that there was literally not one moment where I was, bored or wondering when the movie was going to end. There was always something happening, and it did not drag at all. The runtime was perfect. It didn't need to be any longer, and yet it didn't need to be any shorter either. The story works so well because of the fact that it gives you a reason to root for the Bastards. It makes you want to see them come out of all this victorious. Because we all know the horrifying history Jewish folk have had in 1940s Germany. I don't think you all need a history lesson. I'm especially impressed with the way Shoshana's character was developed, since the story does help you to understand her pain and presents her in such a sympathetic way that you start rooting for her as well because of it. And the film is surprisingly very suspenseful as well, because like I said, not only are the Nazis one step ahead of them, but they are outnumbered too. So this puts a lot against the Bastards. But this ultimately made me root for the Bastards even more, because there was a determination they had amongst each and every one of them that made me want to see them not just survive all of this, but come out victorious as well. And this story keeps you on your toes because there's always something happening to progress the plot forward. Every scene felt very important and definitely helps to keep me on edge, especially since some of the Bastards get captured at one point, which not only fueled the overall suspense the movie had, but also made me want to see them win even more. Also, I won't say much, but damn does this movie have such a satisfying climax. I give the premise of this film an A+. Probably the most exciting story I've watched in a while, and the build-up is amazing. Now, let's discuss acting. Everyone did a stellar job in this film. In fact, I literally can't think of any nitpicks or what I'd do to make it better. It was almost perfect, and I think part of that had to do with just how invested it made you with it all. All these characters steal every scene they're involved in, and there's just something about them that makes you not able to stop watching them. Two performances I have to give kudos specifically to are that of Brad Pitt and Christoph Waltz. These two characters were just so engaging because they literally steal every scene they are in. I think a big part of that had to do with their delivery. Brad Pitt's character had a certain determination and fighting spirit to him that made you more engaged with him, and Christoph Waltz brought a charm to his character which definitely was very fitting given how manipulative his character truly was. He portrayed quite possibly one of the greatest villains in any Tarantino movie, because you could just tell the man was having so much fun with the role. Melanie Lawrence's performance also really helped me to sympathize with her. I truly felt for her, not only because of the fact that she had to witness her parents getting murdered, but also because you could tell that it had a very traumatic impact on her. In fact, there's one scene where she breaks down crying after seeing one of the people who killed their family, and it was pretty heartbreaking, honestly. It definitely helped to add more humanity to her character as well. I give acting an A+. When it comes to acting, Tarantino movies, they can almost never fail. Finally, directing. I really do love the way Quentin Tarantino weaved the story together, because each scene kept you on the edge of your seat. You see, as I mentioned before, as hell-bent the bastards are on slaughtering as many Nazis as they can, there still does come some problems for them, mainly due to the fact that they are, as I said, outnumbered, and they have Hans Landa on their team, a sneaky little rat working for the Nazis who didn't get the name Jew Hunter for nothing. You literally can feel your adrenaline building, and I think that definitely contributes to the execution overall, because there was just so much tension being displayed with this film. I think the way Quentin Tarantino or somebody describes the opening scene where Shoshana's parents are hiding in the basement with her paints how I feel about the scene perfectly. It was almost like I was seeing a rubber band slowly getting stretched out and watching with nervous anticipation before it finally snapped. Or more like a tea kettle. The growing tension helped bring the tea kettle that was that scene to an explosive whistling boil. Nah, rubber band works better. Also, as I said, given that this movie involves killing as many German soldiers as possible in order to end the war, that gives you a reason to keep watching. As I said, you root for these people not only because of what they are doing, scalping Nazis, but also because you can understand why they are doing it, and there's a part of you that hopes that they are able to end the war. Especially since the bastards are Jewish themselves, so that makes you more supportive towards them as well. I give directing an A+. There was not one instance when I was bored with this film. Then again, I can't think of one time when I was ever bored with a Tarantino movie. Overall, Inglorious Basterds is the perfect movie to watch if you hate what the German army did to those 6 million innocent lives during the Nazi invasion in the 40s, which hopefully should be all of you. It is a surprisingly very exciting film despite the subject matter, and made for an overall very enjoyable watch. Obviously, some moments might be a little too sad to watch. Then again, I personally appreciate how Tarantino doesn't sugarcoat anything, but the ferociously good climax more than makes up for it. I give Inglorious Basterds an A+. This is a really powerful film that I will never get tired of watching. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and sub for more content, and a happy Hanukkah.